Good evening, guys. Evening. I'm a little bit late doing this live stream. I've got a few things I've had to attend to. Doing that Neo video just after I upload it. What happens? He goes and buddy backtracks from his apology. It's hard to keep up with all this stuff with the guy Neo. Um, but I will get into that a little bit in this live stream, and I want to touch on some other stuff with the GBUs, all this stuff with Ofcom, and all the whole the Dan Wootton controversy, all that stuff going on right now. Um, just so much shit. It's hard to keep up with it all. You know what I mean? It really is. Just one moment though. I'll be one sec. 1 2 1 2. Hopefully that's all fine. My mic's been a bit funny, been playing up. Hey, Cara. Hi. How are you? One of my later live streams that I've done, but I promised I would do one though. This might be a little bit too late doing this, but I did notice Sean Atwood was going on. I said to myself, well, maybe I'll do it around 10:45. Start it then, not get in the way of Sean Atwood's. But then other stuff came up as well. But I'll go ahead. I'll wait and see what it's like for numbers. I'll get the link out on YouTube. Oh no, you were quite quiet last night. I was wondering where you were, Cara. I see you now though. It's good you're better though. Yeah, I'm feeling not too bad. Sometimes it's just getting the energy to like get the work in with the videos, but um I thought that title was quite cool of the video, So Sick of Cowards, but then just as I was uploading it, then he goes and bloody backtracks in his apology, Neo. It's like, good grief. Um and he's still, I mean, still, I still hold the opinion that he shouldn't have apologized in the first place, though. I'm not taking that back. But hey, Lenny, hi, how are you, mate? A moment. Okay, that's the link sent out. So hopefully that'll get the numbers up a little bit. Sent the link out on YouTube just now. So with this stuff then, so with GBUs, all this stuff with the whole thing with Ofcom. So I've got my own take on this, but I mean we have heard this about GBUs. They're very much at the mercy of Ofcom. There was stuff that came out before about them having to go. All the presenters had to go through Ofcom training. There was the stuff I think with Mark Stein. He got kicked off the show. They found with the stuff he was talking about when it came to the JAB and other stuff that he had broke the rules there, whatever the hell Ofcom's rules are. So with this stuff, with the Ofcom, the media regulator Ofcom has launched 4 investigations into GBUs after complaints that the channel broke impartiality rules. So there was 3 episodes of the show hosted by Conservative MPs that are being investigated in relation to a rule that politicians can't normally act as news presenters. So they've got MPs there. They've got probably the most well-known one would be Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg. There's a Philip Davis and Esther McVeigh as well. They're being examined also. So I think overall they have 7 Ofcom investigations that are going on right now, GBUs. So the UK Media Watchdog has a rule that prevents politicians from acting as news readers, interviewers, or reporters in news programs unless exceptionally it is editorially justified. Some news networks have argued, though, that programs hosted by politicians do not break the rules because they should be classed as current affairs rather than news. I see. Is that how they get around it? So Ofcom commissioned research a couple of months ago into public attitudes towards such programs to decide whether the rules should change. On Monday, Ofcom said it was looking into 3 editions of GBU's programs in relation to the restrictions on politicians acting as news presenters. They include 13th June episode of Sir Jacob's show State of the Nation, that covered a stabbing in Nottingham. And then there was a May 12th episode, Friday morning, Asfer and Phil, that featured issues like there was a teenager who was sentenced for terrorism offences. And there was a Saturday morning show with Asfer and Phil that was being investigated under the politicians as presenters rule, as well as another that says news must be presented with due impartiality. A spokesman for GBUs has declined to comment on the investigations. Well, I mean, this stuff with GBUs, so they have these rules, Ofcom, and all this stuff to do with impartiality. I mean, it's a little bit of a joke, let's be honest. But let's say though, these are the rules. I imagine GBUs, well, they should be well aware of the rules, you'd think. But they have though. I mean, the thing. This is what I'm getting at. The thing with GBUs is it's obviously right wing. It's right leaning, and that's. I don't think that's any secret. But I mean, I always call GBUs. I call them right wing light. You could say right wing ish, maybe. But and I think they've even had the reform leader Richard Tice on as well, also. But I think it's this idea that, impartiality, this is the thing. I think it's just the problem in UK in general, because when you get Fox News and you get CNN in America, at least the people who are on the show are upfront about how they feel on these things. You know how Tucker Carlson feels when it comes to the issues when he was, when Tucker Carlson was on Fox News. That's just him. He's giving you the news, but it's also kind of from his viewpoint as well. It's from the standpoint of right wing, Republican, conservative, whatever. Same thing on the left. If people like CNN, you have Anderson Cooper, Rachel Maddow on the left. They're very upfront. They're like, this is how we see it. We're lefties. So it's a little bit different between UK because it's this idea of being impartial. And I believe in, well, just it's not even a political thing in general, not even a thing with the use. Like it's good to be a bit impartial in life in general, but it's better though. I can at least respect it more when these guys are more upfront. It's like, hey, I'm right wing and I'm upfront about it, or I'm left wing and I'm upfront about it. I can respect that. But it is this whole bullshit idea of impartiality, but it's hard. I mean, because it's kind of. I mean, we know that GBUs is pretty much like a right wing. We know that. But I don't think GBUs flat out say that, on their website. But I mean, it's just really because of these rules that we have here in the UK. So and they're at the mercy of all this stuff when it comes to Ofcom and all this stuff they've got to watch. They just watch how they, word things and, you can't talk about this, can't talk about that. And yeah, but I also though have a theory with this stuff when it comes to GBUs. All this stuff coming out about Ofcom and investigations, it's the cynical conspiracy theorist in me that maybe it's just all this a ploy, like a distraction, like it's to get the focus off all this stuff with Dan Wootton. That's what it could be. It could be just a way to distract us from all the stuff that's been coming out about Dan Wootton, and they still have not done a thing. He's still there. He was on earlier tonight hosting a show, Dan Wootton Tonight. They're not taking him off there. which is crazy, right? Because it took a few days for them to do anything with Philip Schofield with ITV, but eventually, he stepped down, whatever, he resigned or sacked, whatever. More than likely, he got the sack. But this, I mean, they still haven't done anything. It's madness. And I was watching a video Sonia Polton did, and she was had this theory that maybe the reason that Dan Wootton, one, there hasn't been much media coverage on it. It took a while for the media to start reporting on it. And then two, all the people that are just like acting like nothing's happened and they're still running to Dan's aid. It's maybe this idea that he's got something on them, compromising things on them when his time at the when he was at the Sun. Like, interesting kind of theory, but I don't think that's the case. I think because with this you thing with GBUs, I mean Dan Wooten hasn't crossed paths with these people yet. He hasn't probably crossed paths with any of these people before. Like, at least I don't think. You know, maybe just like a "Hey, how are you?" kind of thing at some event, award thing, whatever. But I don't know. I think a lot of these people are just you people that Dan would have met on GBUs. But so Lanny Fox also sacked Tucker Carlson, though. What was that about? Yeah, I think somebody asked me about this yesterday, the day before Lanny. Oh, it would have been yesterday. I think it was because Tucker Carlson was starting to go off script a little bit with stuff he was talking about. Um, I think there was the straw that broke the camel's back. I heard it was some conservative conference thing, and Tucker started to get quite religious with what he was saying. Right then and there on stage, they did a prayer. He led a prayer, and Murdoch, who's an atheist, was like, "No, that's it. Had enough. Don't want him there on the show anymore." Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, we just have to wait and see if it's going to be anything's going to be done about criminal charges. But well, people say that it's like, well, why is this all coming in out now via byline times? Why haven't it gone to the police? Hi, Joey Cass, how you doing? Um, but again, this stuff's been the police did look into this stuff, but then they found that there were no criminal charges, or they just got dropped. But then again, I've said before, I believe Dan Wooten's very well connected, and it's part of having these real high up connections. That is part of the reason why this story has been somewhat suppressed. You know, it obviously hasn't been getting the coverage that Schofield that had, and I suppose even Hugh Edwards. How are you this evening, Julia Cast? Are you watching? I know Sean Atwood was on earlier. Were you watching his channel? So the Tate name's trending. I wonder if Andrew Tate's been saying some stupid shit again. No, it's just his brother Tristan saying he's from the streets. Come on. Liz Wheeler. Liz Wheeler does some good stuff here. Tristan Tate admits he manipulated women into doing pornography for him. He said, "I like to keep their passwords to their OnlyFans accounts so they don't run away." It seemed like a very recent video. And these guys just snitch on themselves doing all these videos. It's like they were that desperate for the attention. It wasn't just enough making money, getting rich. Eh? Tired. Yeah, I'm quite tired as well, mate. I was like, I'm going to be a trooper with this. I'm going to get a live stream done. He could just be an actor, could he? Could he? Andrew Tate, straight up actor. I saw a little bit of the video that Paz did, Julia Cass, about the Beano going woke, which doesn't really surprise me. I didn't really get into the whole specifics about what changes have been made to the comic the magazine, because I just watched like the first couple of minutes and then I got to work on that Neo video. So sick of cowards, so sad I know. And then he goes and bloody backtracks his apology. Neo, oh, have you not heard about this Duocast? So Neo did an interview with DJ Vlad. Well, it wasn't actually DJ Vlad, it was some old it was like one of these like girls back in the day that was like a model video vixen. She was a hot girl appearing in the hip hop videos. So she interviewed him, and they both came off quite well. Just like common sense people, you know. They weren't being offensive to the LGBTQ plus community. They were just saying that, hey, you know, this idea that a 5-year-old kid could decide, oh, like a boy could say, hey, I want to be a girl at 5, or vice versa. It's just madness. And he was just saying that, at 5 years old, you don't know really what you don't know what the hell you're doing. You know what I mean? Like if your parents at 5 years old said, "Oh, hey, you can eat all the candy in the world," you would just go and stuff yourself and get fatter and fatter and eat all the candy. Um, you don't really know what's right and wrong, not entirely when you're 5 or 6, right? You have some idea, but not. You know, I mean, I was 6 years old or something, and I could mess around in this store we call it smaller room that we had in our flat at the time, and it was like there was matches, playing around with matches, like as a kid you don't know any better, um thankfully I didn't wasn't able to light one, but so this idea that 5, 6 year olds, 7 year olds, even 8 year olds, 9 year olds, 10 year olds could go and decide to change their gender, it's just no, it's not on. I'm not having it, and that's basically what Neo got in trouble for, Julio Cas. And then he had, and then typically, the typical thing, he went and issued an apology, or it was something that was well written out by a publicist or whatever, a PR person. But now he's kind of backtracked a little bit on the apology, though. Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's just a weird world that we're living in. Sinead O'Connor, buddy, tomorrow. Yeah, that's very terrible. I wasn't sure that she had already been buried, Lanny, but yeah, yeah. Rest in peace, Sinead. Yeah. So the apology though that he gave, right? So I'll go through it for you, Joey Cass. So he says, after much reflection, I'd like to express my deepest apologies to anyone that I may have hurt with my comments on parenting and gender identity. I've always been an advocate for love and inclusivity and the LGBTQI. I think they forgot the A in that community. So I understand how my comments could have been interpreted as insensitive and offensive. Gender identity is nuanced, and I can honestly admit that I plan to better educate myself on the topic so I can approach future conversations with more empathy. At the end of the day, I lead with love and support everyone's freedom of expression and pursuit of happiness. Yeah, that you're spot on there, Julie Cass. Just don't go projecting it on everyone. Yeah, I've got love and all the love and tolerance in the world for you. With what you want to be. If it's something, it's all good here, but it's just there. That's and the intentions behind it. We've got to remember that. Can't forget that. But then Neo later on backtracked and he said, "Oh, I'm going to hear you. I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer." Saying he doesn't apologize, and he said, well, he did basically kind of get back. He did backpedal really from very much that, from the statement. He was, because he was saying in the apology, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to better educate myself." But then later on, he's like, backtracking on the apology in the video, he's kind of like, "Well, there's no book in the world that would make me change my view on what I feel when it comes to kids and not changing gender or whatever." And well, he's spot on. He's absolutely right. But by the same token, though, he shouldn't have apologized in the first place. I mean, Matt Walsh never would apologize for this, and Jordan Peterson never would have apologized for this. Um, like when it comes to this specific thing, no matter what you think about Daily Wire, that would be a hill that guys like Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, J.K. Rowling would be prepared to die on. Yeah, there's so many letters these days, though, huh? Yeah, so many letters. Yeah, I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. I mean, the thing is, I mean, Neo has been kind of not in popular culture for about 8, 9, 10 years now, and all of a sudden he's got all this people talking about him after all these years. That's why to me, it feels like it could be somewhat staged, or, he knew that, or maybe he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? He knew what he was doing. And, um, he knew that this would get attention and eyeballs on him again, and then he'd go and apologize and then backtrack, you know, all calculated to get him back in the public eye. Dur, 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 dur. When you can't believe their apology, you can't believe their word. That's a valid point, Cara. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, he was making a point in the video. Oh, if I've got to figure it out myself, I'll do it. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, a guy like Neo, it's like hell. Start up your own podcast, do something. You can make some money there. I don't know if you necessarily need the industry, but they obviously probably threatened him, and it was pretty strong. Probably whatever it was, strongly worded threat. If it was like email, a letter, a phone call, whatever. Maybe I imagine probably his management agency threatened to drop him. That's what I think. She's a monster. That was probably the last one, wasn't it? I don't mind. I think was that one of the last ones he had was a hit with Pitbull, I think. Um, and then just kind of dropped off, which was surprising, because he was very talented. He was kind of like maybe not quite on his level, but kind of like a modern day kind of Michael Jackson, you know. Yeah, because some of the stuff I like from him probably, yeah, So Sick, Sexy Love, Miss Independent, that was all right. The song he was on with Ghostface, Back Like That, the Kanye West one and Kerry Hilson, that Love Knocks You Down, those were pretty good songs. Like he was a very talented guy, and he wrote and still is very talented, sure, but he wrote Mario Let Me Love You. That was a really big hit. Um, and he wrote Irreplaceable by Beyonce. It's the Nolans. I haven't got around to listening to that duocast. I'll tell you what, I'll do it after the end of this live stream. I promise you, I'll listen to the Nolans song, Sexy Music. Um, how did I sound, by the way, with that? So sick of cowards, so sad, I know. I thought that sounded pretty good. Neo also wrote the song by Rihanna, Hate That I Love You. Like a Neo vibe to it when I think about it. So are you not a Sean Atwood guy, Julia Cass? So you're not your cup of tea. Maureen likes him. Or yeah, Matthew Steeples is. I don't know about Neo. I mean, Neo was. I remember Neo being critical 8 years ago about the Kardashians or something, but I suppose 8 years ago, critical Kardashians. I don't know if that would that have screwed him over. I think the last year he had a hit was 2014. 2015, he's critical Kardashians on his Facebook, and then after that, he's he's not big. Would have Chris Jenner made it a point to try and hold him down? People connections in the industry. There's a conspiracy theory for you. Jason Derulo. Talk Dirty is quite a catchy song, to be fair. I'm not really that big into Jason Derulo, to be honest with you. You've got a thing for the Nolans, Joey Cass. I'm sure they were all right in their younger days, though. Do, 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 do. That's the thing. As soon as you listen to one song, then they'll recommend you everything. Yeah. You remember that song, "Sexy Love"? How that goes? She makes the back. She makes the hairs on the back of my stand up. Just one touch. I'm a bit limited to my vocal range. I tried though. I need to stick to rapping. So I'd send my video that I did about Neo to Mr. Was it What's a Woman movie, Matt Walsh, but I didn't hear anything from him. Cisco Fong Song. Well, yeah. I mean, interesting point, Lanny, because you've got Neo, as I was saying to you before, like 7 kids with 3 different women. So, as he said in his video, he said in his apology video, bills have got to be paid. And, well, Cisco only had one hit, though. That's the thing, Lanny. And that was a catchy song, though, to be fair. Uh, he was pretty talented when he was in that group, Drew Hill, They were all right. They had that song, was it How Deep Is Your Love? Was in the Rush Hour movie. They were on Wild Wild West with Will Smith as well. He very well could be, So maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be with making money in the music business. Man, he'll have a publishing songwriting deal as well, though. Irreplaceable. He wrote "Let Me Love You," "Hate That I Love You." Those were big hits. Old tunes. Yeah, I like old stuff. I like Motown, soul, disco. I love music, any kind of music. That's the OJs. Was it the Tavares and it was the 70s, was it? They had a what was it? What was that? Something about someone going to heaven or something, and yeah, it only takes a minute as well, eh? Who did used to be my girl? It's actually funny about Neo, right? Because funnily enough, he actually had a song 5 years ago, right? And guess what the name of the song was that he had 5 years ago? Apology. I guess he was saving it for this, right? I don't know if people should be saying Neo's brave though, because just wait again. There could be another apology in a day or two. Just wait. TMZ. You think Neo should have apologized for anti-trans comments? It's like, come on. Maybe I should tweet Neo. I'll tweet Neo my video. Almost as brave as Filthy. Oh god, yeah. Nah, he's a bit of a step above Pip, as Maureen would call him, Cara. You know, Neo at least has some genuine talent. You know. No, I haven't heard of the Moments before. What are they like? Are they like Motown or celebs live in a clown world? You can't expect them to have any real perspective. Yeah, that's true. Very shrewd, calculated people though. So you still feel Neo would be smart enough to know not to say that though. You know, sure he'd be aware that there would be a backlash to what he said, but generally, I didn't even see a backlash on Twitter. That's the thing. You've got all these people saying that there's a backlash and he's going to get cancelled, but I generally didn't see any tweets. Did you see any tweets online of people saying, "Oh, F Neo, I'm done with him, cancelled. He's a transphobe, a transphobe." I never saw any of that. One sec. A soul group. All right. He just I guess Neo just couldn't keep up. I mean, that was the difference. That's what separates Michael Jackson from like a Neo. That he kept evolving. You know, he had Dangerous. What was that other album? And was it called History? I think. Which History might have not been one of the stronger albums that Michael Jackson had, but then he had They Don't Care About Us, he had Earth Song. He was always evolving. Plastic surgery, maybe. Yeah, US soccer team, Lanny, yep. Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Because a few of them did the whole thing hand on their heart, and then you had some of the other ladies that were took the knee. It was very strange looking at it, and you know what was very strange though? It was Megan, her reaction, that girl after missing the pen, that she was smiling. Have you ever seen someone smiling after they miss a pen? Like very strange. Usually they're inconsolable, down on the ground, in tears. She had a smile on her face though. And that made me think, you know what? Maybe there was something to that. Maybe, you know, maybe what? Maybe she wanted to miss the penalty. There, I said it. Maybe she did want to miss that pen. Maybe she thought, you know what, there'll be more focus on me if I miss the pen, and then I can this whole thing. I'll be more attention. I can play the victim, and you know, you never know. I mean, I know there's that video of her. She's been so self-absorbed when they'd won the what was it? Was it 4 years ago they won the World Cup, right? USA. And she's just saying, I deserve this. I deserve this. And it's like, please, it's like it's a team effort at the end of the day. It wasn't all about you, you know. Like no one even knew who you were. You're supposed to be what this US soccer ladies legend. It's kind of laughable. We just know you for all the wrong reasons. You have become infamous with all that lame virtue signaling that you do. Just a rabbit show. Yeah. That's not really my cup of tea, the rabbit shows with Penny Bunny, Lucas. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, you're right, Lanny, because that was the thing. All these people, the American conservatives, like the people, the big podcasters, yeah, they had no sympathy for the USA team. Unlikable, arrogant, big head. Yeah, I'm with you, Lenny. I'm with you. Applying for a job in Paris. Ah, sounds very cool. What's the job? What is it you're looking to do, Joey Cass? States manager. I would say, wow. So that very seems very high up, important type job. Nice, impressive. I hope you get it. Wishing you all the best with that, pal. Yeah, it's worth a try. So is what they say about the lottery, right? In it to win it. So no harm in trying. Uh, So with Dan Wootton, I was looking to see if there's anything more here with Dan Wootton. So okay, so still seems to be that same article from a few days ago. There was something else though, wasn't there? I think there's the Guardian reported on it. Yeah, so there's this. It was the whole Martin Branning thing that he had used allegedly to meet a male model. So 3 weeks since the outage, he's continued to present his show. Central allegation is about Wooten using the name Martin Branning, and that he was accused of allegedly offering former Sun colleagues thousands of pounds in return for explicit material. You witness though has come forward to claim that Martin Branning and Dan Wooten were the one and same man. Andy Lee, a performer on the subscriber website OnlyFans, told Guardian he had met Branning in person in 2013 and later realized he had actually met Wooten. So, yeah, this was the stuff Guardian have done an all right job. I know they're lefties, but they've done an all right job with this stuff, reporting on this. Um, the teeth, it's not a good look, those white gnashers. I know you, Lucas. Um, Wooten has neither confirmed nor denied that he's Martin Branning. Associated email address and the associated email address with that. But he has claimed he is being smeared by a malicious former partner and dark forces intent on ending his career. Lee now alleges Wooten used this guy Lee claimed he had. This was after he had responded to a Craigslist advert seeking male models. Branning, so Branning described himself as a relatively high-profile 30-year-old who lives in a flat in the Aldgate area of London. At the time, Wootton was a senior show business journalist at Sun who had just turned 30. Guardian understands he was living in a flat in Aldgate. Leo said he met Branning, whom he recalls as having as planned. At first, Lee did not think there was anything odd about the encounter. He was always under the impression he was Martin Branning. Things apparently changed soon afterwards when Lee claims he was followed on Twitter by a journalist named Dan Wootton. Lee said he was shocked because the profile picture on Wootton's account was the face of the Martin Branning he met. It's all coming out now. And they've got a photo of this guy, the male model in the Guardian. He's going public, this guy, Andy Lee, his name is. So where were we? Yeah, so Wootton's former boyfriend publicly alleged Wootton was behind the Branning email account. Byline Times had reported similar claims by an anonymous former colleague. Former Sun employees told The Guardian they were approached over several years by someone calling themselves Branning large sums of money in return for sexual images. The claims relating to whether Wootton inappropriately offered colleagues money in return for sexual material, they are being investigated by Wootton's employers at Mail Online. That's where he has now suspended column and his former employer Murdoch's News UK. And the Sun's editor, Victoria Newton, she was questioned about the investigation. She had responded to a letter from the Culture Select Committee of MPs that was last month. So it's come out, Wootton's disputed any of the allegations. The guy Lee wanted to contact the Guardian because Wootton appeared to be failing to engage with the allegation. I just want you to know what he is, Martin Branning, and I'm the proof of it. Whatever he was doing around it, he was Martin Branning. He said he thought Wootton's failure to provide full explanations had a whiff of hypocrisy, given he had made his name intruding into the personal lives of celebrities. When The Guardian approached Wootton for comment, the presenter's lawyer said his client has no recollection whatsoever of ever meeting Lee. The lawyer did not engage with questions about whether Wootton had ever used the Martin Branning email or had gone by that name, or whether Wootton had a Branning email account used to make financial offers to Sun's journalists. So there we. Yeah, I know, Joe Cass, you said that. I mean, I know you said you didn't have a pleasant experience that a few times you were around him, but I don't know, maybe he just became more and more of a monster as time went on. It was like a gradual thing. I'm very much of the opinion, Dan did all these things because he could, that's what it was about. Yeah, well, just my opinion. That's just how I see it. Yeah, it is a bit late, Julie. Yeah, it is a little bit late, mate. But I take care, mate, and all the best with that. Uh, all the best with it with that job in Paris, and I'll talk to you later. Uh, No, no, yeah, you as well. Yeah, it's just one of my later live streams, the latest I've been on. Uh, if there's anyone else, all the guys there are watching this. If there's any other final questions or comments you have, just leave it in the chat. I'll just see within the next 30, 60 seconds. Anything you want to ask me, just go right ahead. But yeah, I'll make this a bit more of an earlier one, Cara. I promise. Trust me. William Friedkin, American actor. He was director of The Exorcist. Oh, all right. Hmm. Interesting first photo I've seen of him. It looks like he's doing like a Masonic hand sign. It's if you Google the name Lana, you would have to see it. But director of The Exorcist. All right. My brother, he really likes The Exorcist. And that's cool, Cara. It's all good. It's all love. What's this dude Zooey saying? I think Zooey's just blocking people who call him out for being buddy buddy with Andrew Tate. Trying his best. A lot of mental gymnastics trying to justify why he's defending him, but yeah. Yeah, I'll check that guy William Friedkin out. I'll check also. I'll remember Juliacast. Maybe you've got to sleep now, but I'll check out that Nolan song. See what all the fuss is about. Yeah, I don't think I've seen The Exorcist in full though, but I think I'll make it a point to check that out though sometime. But Donald Trump Jr., Trump's son's now even posting stuff about the Neo thing. God, this is the first time that Neo's been trending in 8 years, you know? I would say there's got to be something to this, right? uh, yeah, just write it down on a bit of paper, your questions, Cara. Maybe do it that way. So sick of cowards, so sad I know. Fair play to Neo, he did backtrack. I guess that's something, right? Better than nothing. Never. I'd never sing that Cara, but yeah, I think it seems like a bit of a disturbing movie, doesn't it, Lanny the Exorcist? See, I don't know that I never heard that name before, Lanny, but I'll look him up a bit though, to see what his other things that he had done, other movies he directed. Right. Okay. So I think it's getting a bit late now. So I think I'm just going to head off and get some sleep myself. So thanks very much for joining me. I know it's a bit of a later one, guys, but thank you. Thank you very much for joining. So I will see if I can end up making it a little bit. I certainly promise it'll be a bit more of an earlier live stream. I'll do Tuesday evening. So thanks very much, guys. So hope you're all doing well. Take care. Oh, thanks, Cara, dude. Thank you too. But thanks very much, guys. So hope you all be fine and take care. So good night, guys. See ya.